Hey, it's been a while. So we've been away from YouTube for a bit and I just wanted to come check in. So I guess if you clicked into this video, you're probably wondering where have we been? What are we up to? Perhaps not, then probably click away. And if you're new here, I'm Dan. I'm the co-owner of Bentgate Brewing, and we are a small professional brewery in Norway. And welcome to the channel. So to address the elephant in the room, life has just been busy and we have had to focus more on the actual brewery business than YouTube. So part of being too busy, as any person knows with a YouTube channel, is that sometimes you just don't have the time to film for YouTube. So we've just had to take a break for a bit. But I have some cool news for you guys. So I'm gonna go mountain biking real quick and then we'll talk about some content we have coming up. Let's go. Oh yeah, and if you didn't know, I'm in Colorado right now, where I'm originally from, and I'm in the mountains, and as you can see, it is pretty. All right, let's go. All right, done with mountain biking in the mountains of Colorado and now heading to Utah. But while I'm on this drive, I want to talk a bit about the really cool videos that we have coming out. So last summer, Colin and I drove north to go see our friends at Bonesock Malt, and we filmed a ton of content. There was a hiatus from editing, but now the videos have been edited and are ready. So next week we'll release the first release of this video where we go through the malt house with Tyson, the co-owner of Bonesock Malt, and it's super cool. So first of all, be sure to subscribe if you're into that kind of content, because we're going to talk about how malt is made from grain. We actually talk also with the farming side, the other co-owner, Bodil, where we go through actually how the grain is harvested, everything like that, and we'll end up having hours of content. I'm very excited and looking forward to that happening soon. The first video is where we look at the brand new facility that was installed last summer at Bonesock Malt, and then we also kind of go back and look at the roots and where it all started in the malt house. Oh, the camera's sliding. Hey. Then we have a video coming out where we actually sit down with Tyson and go through his lineup, and there's a ton of information there, so you learn kind of all the characteristics of the malt that they offer, as they are one of the largest craft maltsters in Norway, perhaps the largest, I don't know. Another video will be, as I said, where we look at the actual grain and farming side of it, so we get to see some really cool toys and learn about how the grain's stored, how it's processed, everything like that. All right, now let's get to Utah and talk a little bit about the future of the brewery. Oh wait, I have to show you something real quick. Are you ready? So let's talk about what's going on in the brewery. On the brewery side, actually every subsequent year has been a bigger year than the last, with this year being our largest released year ever. We've been incredibly grateful from all of the feedback that we've gotten on Untapped, and at the time of recording this, we're actually the #5 rated brewery in Norway. Of course, that's not counting all the amazing cideries, just beer breweries. and #1 nano brewery. So that's neat. Thanks guys, I appreciate that. Another thing that we've also done is become an organic certified brewery. This was actually done for a client that reached out to us to make a beer because they were having trouble finding different organic certified breweries in Norway. So if you want to try that beer, it's always at the Bygdøy Kongsgård. So that's the King's Garden, like the king. I don't think he drinks our beer though. However, this year was also a bit of a different year. We were planning to actually do a very large release for what the wine monopoly or the alcohol store in Norway, the government owned one, has in a process they call a tender process. This is a process where breweries can apply, and if accepted, then they have guaranteed sales through the wine monopoly or Vin monopoly. However, there was some changes this year in what actually defines a brewery and a producer, essentially making it impossible for contract breweries and small breweries like me, nano breweries, which don't have our own equipment, to actually hire out on someone else's equipment, because with those rules, we would actually be competing with those people on these tenders, which is unfortunately not really worth it for any brewery that is contracting out their equipment, because there's a potential that we could get the tender and they don't. However, we'll see, maybe I'll do a video on that if you're interested, and maybe more into actually how the alcohol business works, especially the beer business works in Norway. But we've already talked with the wine monopoly, so there is a potential that they'll change the rules for this next year, as they are very open to listening to breweries. Another reality, which I think a lot of YouTube creators or brewers have really faced, is just burnout. So with Colin and I both having full-time jobs in top of doing this brewery, that has definitely resulted in some burnout, especially with how hard we've been pushing the brewery for the last year or so. So it's starting to get dark, so let's make a fire and talk about sort of what is in the future for our brewery and what our plans are for this channel as well as our brewery. All right, let's go. So we've decided to really slow down and focus. Kind of what got us in love with brewing in the first place is just having fun brewing, making cool new beers, and just going to festivals and meeting people. However, this will also mean, because of the extra effort required and sort of the limited payoff, we will be now just doing only kegs. We might ship them around Norway, but for the meantime, it'll basically be small batch beers, new recipes, and things that we just love doing. Another thing that we've really missed is actually just being on YouTube. So one of the big goals is to actually start making more content, putting out more content. If there's types of content that you want to see from us, let us know below in the comments. Anything from new recipes to just day in the life videos to how does the brewing industry work, or even brewing at other people's breweries. And if you're interested in more brewing content, be sure to subscribe, because we do plan on putting out more content than just these malt videos that we talked about earlier. But I think that's it for me. Tomorrow I have a large ride, riding the whole enchilada in Utah. Although I won't bore you with any more biking B-roll. You just know I love doing that stuff. And when those malt videos come out, I'll be sure to link them in the description below. With that being said, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night here in Utah, and next time I see you, I'll be back in Norway. It was nice to see you all, and see you soon.